Hello everyone. Do you know what we're talking about today?
MongoDB.
Not MongoDB, no. We've done that already. We're doing React hooks. No, we're doing React hooks, Sumi. Right. Before we start hooks, because it's a final day, I kind of want to assess your skills in React. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a final day. I want to just do a bit of recap on props and state before I move on to hooks, otherwise it'll be confusing. Now, I have two components. One is header and one is survival point. I'll explain that later. Now for header, I want to create a title and a subtitle. Say for example, Kadiri and a subtitle called Coding Bootcamp. Right, does anyone know how I can import it to app.js? Does anyone remember? So I already imported header here, but how do I import this component in the app function? Does anyone remember? Header with the what? With the two what? Two ears?
Yes.
The ears, okay. Like this, yeah? Cool. So let's see what happens. Alright. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah? However, I'm simply just hard coding here. And I don't want to do that. I want to pass the data from the parent component to the child. How do I do that? Okay, you guys see. Anyone? Julia, do you remember? Do you remember how to pass data to the child component? Yeah, props. How do I do that? Let's call it title, the prop. So. No.
No, that was the same.
We're not doing state yet. We're not doing state. We're doing props first. So what's the property? It's title, isn't it? So title dot props. Nope. Equals. So well done, Julia. So what shall I call it? Let's call it. Well, you know what? Let's not call it Kadiri. Let's call it something else. Let's make it interesting. Let's call it the final day. The final day. Now, and also let's do one more subtitle. Let's call it the prop subtitle. I don't know. The end is 9. Whatever. Whatever. Now. So I already passed the data from the parent component to the child. How do I link it together? Yep, props. Where shall I pass it? In the argument? Yeah? Now, what do I do next? I can't, still don't have anything here. So we know yet. Yeah. Like this. Curly brace, exactly. Well done. There you go. And finally, it's called subtitles, yeah? So props.subtitle. Yeah, makes sense, guys? Cool. So that's headers. Now, let's do the next component, which is called survival point. Very similar to scores, but I'm just trying to make it interesting. Right, from the survival point component, I want to display the name of the doesn't matter. Ignore that. Name of the survivor. I'll call that survivor later. Doesn't matter. Survivor and also the point, the score, basically. Now, let's call so component is called survival point. So I want to pass in the name of the person, of the survivor, and the score, or the point. Now, who shall I use? Who shall I pick on?
Z.
Z, yeah? Let's pick on Z. Because he's not very happy today. Right, let's just give him 100 points just to make him happy. Now, Z, do you remember how to do it? So let's just say I want the name. Yeah, where shall I pass it? Yeah? Yep, well done. And props dot points, yeah?
Referencing the TV show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Actually, let me right, let me change the, let's call it Survivor. Need to change the class name, hold on. Not student, Survivor. There you go. Right, now, one question for you guys. Can I change the data for props? So for example, I no longer want, what did I call it? Is it 100 points? I want it 200 points now. Can I do that? Why is that? Exactly. So you can never change props data, yeah? So let's see what the error. There you go. Cannot assign to read-only property, yeah? Because it's props. So the only way to change the data is to use state, like Julia said. Now, how do we do that? That's the question. How do we change this, the whole thing, to state? Florin, how do we do that? So instead of function, what do we need to do to change the data? Pardon? Yes, well done. Class, how do I do that? So change the function, right? To class, right? And then what? Does it have, can you pass in arguments? Not really, right? What's next? What's the next keyword? No, take your time. Yeah, not export, no. We've done that already. No, take your time. I'm not, there's no rush. We've got time. No worries. Z, do you know? You need to Google? Oh, no, that's not good enough. This is assessment. All right, Sumi, go on. I know you've been waiting for so long. You've been grabbing on the chair. All right, go on, Sumi. Yeah. No, not yet. Before that.
Extend.
Ah, nice one. Yeah, extend. Sumi's like gripping on the chair so hard, right? She's like waiting, but gave me the wrong answer. No worries. Extend from what?
React.
Yes, that's it. Is there another way to extend this? So rather than React.component, what else?
We need to declare it.
Yeah, exactly. From here, right?
Yeah.
With or without code braces?
With.
Yeah, that's it. So it doesn't matter. It's based on your preference. I mean, these are two ways to do it. Now, what's next, Julia? I'm not done with you yet.
Constructor.
Yeah, that's it. Oops, got constructor wrong. With or without parentheses?
With.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, what's the next keyword? Who shall I test it on? Philip, do you know? What's the next keyword? What's the next one? All right, Sumi, go on then. Go on, what is it? Yeah, super, yeah, that's it. What's the super for?
For inheritance.
Yeah. What am I inheriting?
Survival from class, right?
Nope.
Props.
I'm getting the points from the object that's already been hit. That's here, but I'm extending the React module in order to call this.state and also the next method that we'll mention later. So here, what else can I do here? What's the method that I need from component? Apart from that, what's the most important method? Because of R. That's it, render. Where should I put it? Here? Yeah? Right, so then put it inside. So that's it. Now, let me see what error did I get. Yep, so props is not defined. Because it's a class, I can't use props.name anymore. What's the keyword that we need to use in order to pass in the props? We did this on Monday.
This?
Yes. This. And this. Oh, can't change the data for prop. So you see what we get. There we go. Z and 100. So what this points to? What does this represent? We did this on Monday.
There's one.
The object equals function.
Hmm?
The object equals function.
Yes, exactly. It points to the object, yeah? So for this one, this is an object, yeah? It points to this. Survival point. No, not this one. Yeah, it points to this. Now, we now want to change the data for point. What do we need to do? You see me gripping on the chair? Yep, she is. That's it, this dot state. What else? What's next? Yeah. Equals. Yeah, we're changing the object, yeah? Yes, it. And what's the key? That's it. Equals or colon. That's it. Well done, Z. Now, I have two choices. I either want to initialize a state value, so it can be 0, or it can be the data that I've passed here. So let's start with 0. So I'm passing it as 0, yeah? Now, how do I reference the this dot state here? What do I need to write here?
This dot state.
I just gave you the answer, but anyway. Right, so this dot state, yeah? Yeah, so 0. Now, next question. How do I pass this data, the point 100, to the constructor? Where do I pass it?
Constructor.
Well done. And then where? And then what? It's not highlight. It's dark for some reason. It means it's not used.
Yeah, probably super or where?
No, nope. We're using super to inherit the this dot state and the render method. So super is not for the props. Yeah? So I need to change this 0, yeah? What do I need to do here? Yeah, that's it. Well done, Z. Props dot point. So let's see what we get. There you go, 100. Does it make sense, guys? Yeah? So in order to link this property to here, I need to pass in props in constructor and also props dot point in this dot state in order to change that data. Right, next question, guys. How do I change this data? What do I need to do? So let me create two buttons. So let me go to resources. Oh, please go for it.
Because I forgot most of this stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Go on.
So this whole point is just to transfer data, right?
Transfer data and to change data.
Yeah, but why can't we change that before in the app?
Well, say for example you have a database and you might want to change some data.
Okay, if we
Yeah.
put it that way, that makes sense.
So I'm just, yeah, does it make sense? Okay, cool. Now, let me create another button. So a button to, not a question mark. So I created a button to increase the points. So let's call it increase point, not point. Might get a point later. Increase point. And another button, what's it called? Decrease point. Now, as you can see, I have two buttons.
Yeah.
I can't change them. And why is that?
There's no function.
There's no function. Well done, Z. Oh, that looks better. So how do I do that, Z? What's the key word? Yeah, that's it. On click. Where do I put it? Here.
I think so.
So what is on click? It's an event listener, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the browser listens for noise. So click is part of the event. Yeah. Now, should be like that. Now, how do I create a function? Ignore the message. So I want to create a function called increase point. Right, so where should I put it? Where should I create a function? Here? Here? There? Where? What?
Above render,
Above render,
I would guess.
yeah?
Yes.
You guess. Now, under class, can I use function? No, yeah, you can't use function. Class doesn't like it, yeah? So you must, when you create a function under class, you mustn't use the word function.
Just the name and
Exactly. So here, I have to create a function called increase point. Now, what do I do next? How do I update? How do I use the function called increase point to update the state known as point? What's the special method? This dot set state, well done to me. And then what? Parentheses, yep.
So open parentheses, open curly braces.
I don't know, you ask me. You're asking me.
No.
Open parentheses.
Open curly braces. Both.
Both. That's it. And then what?
Put your function in there.
Put a function in there. Like
Oh,
this.
sorry. No.
Are you sure?
Sorry. Props or points?
Nope.
Points.
Point is an object, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Are you sure? Props dot point. Are you sure?
No.
No, take your time.
Plus.
Huh?
Plus.
Nope.
this.
Yeah, but don't forget, I already converted props dot point to state.
Yeah.
So now it's no longer props.
Yeah.
It's a state. It's part of state now, isn't it? So this dot state. Well done. Yeah. Then what? I want to increase it by, I don't know. What do you want to increase it by?
Plus 1.
Plus 1. Nope. It's an error. Just 1 plus, right? Does it make sense to me? Yeah? Now, how do I, well, obviously it still doesn't work. How do I link them together? Do I do this? This dot increase point? Nothing. Oh, cannot read property set state of undefined. Why is that?
So is dot says.
There are two ways to link them together.
Bind
I
this.
remember this.
Yeah, bind. That's it. That's the first method. And then what? Sumi?
Bind this.
Bind this. Would it work? Let's have a look. Yep, it works. Nice one. What's the other method? What's the other way? Other than bind.
Can go to this dot. That's there.
I can't hear you, you're mumbling.
Sorry. I remember the first one using bind.
Yep. Because A.
Yeah, if you don't use bind, you could change a bit this to something that this does.
Right, okay, I'll put it out of misery. It's called the arrow function. Do you guys remember arrow functions? So what do I do? What do I do here? How do I create an arrow function, Florin?
Equal.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then what? Add the parentheses. Yeah? So yeah?
There's a calling function.
So that's the second way. So it will work. Yeah? Right, any questions, guys? Regarding to these two ways of binding or linking the function to the state.
No, I just need to remember it.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. Now let's do the next one called decrease point. Plus or minus?
Minus.
There we go. Oop, back in there. Alright. So let's do on click. Alright, let's use bind this time. Point, dot this. Alright, let's see if it works. There you go. Hey. Okay, guys, does it make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Now let's see. So we use constructor, super, this dot state. Created two methods and a button as well as the header for name and point. Okay. Now let's move on to the main thing. It's called hooks. Now, guys, what is hooks? What is the main point of hooks? Why was hooks created?
To take state out of the component.
Pardon?
To take state out of a component?
Nope. To destate our component?
To take state.
No, we still need state. We still need state to change the data.
You use it without writing.
We want to. The reason why hooks was created is to replace class. Yeah. Hooks still works with state because we need state to change the data. So props and states are still there for hooks, but we don't. But because classes are it's just very complicated for many developers nowadays. So hooks was created in order to avoid that. Now, so what is hooks? What's hooks mainly? What was it originally? Hooks. It's a function. Yeah. So the difference between a function and a class is that function is a lot easier to read. Like, for example, for header. See? So it's very simple to read, unlike classes. It's just too complicated. So therefore, hooks is created to replace classes. Now, how do we do that? So, first of all, we want to replace class, to function. Right, does anyone remember how to create a function? Do we still need extends a component? Nope. What do we need? Parentheses, exactly. What's next? Do we still need this rubbish? Nope, don't need constructor, don't need super, don't need all that mumbo jumbo. Right, I'm going to comment this out for now because I want to focus that until last. Now render, do we still need render?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Not really.
Nope.
That's a class, right?
Return.
Pardon? Render is originally extended from the component class, do you remember? Yeah, render is a class, or originally it's from class, but function is no, doesn't exist in functions, yeah? So we must get rid of render.
That looks a lot easier. Why don't we start?
No, render is not easy. No, class is a lot more complicated in real life. That's why we use functions. Now, I've got an error saying cannot read property props of undefined. Why is that? What's going on here?
Because it's not writing anything.
Exactly right. Yeah, well done, Florian. He said because this is only for classes, so we don't need this anymore.
After all, everything that is related to classes.
So props is not defined because I haven't defined props yet. Exactly. Well done, Philip. And also, we don't need this anymore. This. Oh, let me get rid of this dot state because we're not using this anymore. And also the button, I'm gonna comment that for now. I want to focus on methods later. There we go. Right, let me do. So I want to pass in this point property to here. So what do we do here? Exactly. Props.point. Yeah? So it's basically back to square one, right? We're basically going back to function.
Yeah. No, I was saying like this looks a lot easier
Mm.
than with class.
Mm-hmm. Now that's been done, let's start with hooks. So has anyone seen the code for hooks before? Right. So here, hooks, the way to do it, instead of constructor and super and all that mumbo jumbo, we just need to declare a variable. Actually, you know what? Let's use the method use state first. So here's the use state method. But in order to use state, what do we need to import? So instead of component, Exactly, use state. See, no error. Now, in order to use this method, I need to assign it to two different values in an array. So I need to assign it to an array. Now, the first value of this array is the initialized state. So initialized state can be anything. So it can be from the props, or you can initialize it as 0, whatever. So let's call it point. Now, the second argument for the array, second value, is the function name. So let's call it set point. Now, is anyone aware of this? Does anyone know about destructuring? Destructure. Yeah, this is known as destructure. So instead of destructuring, I can do something like, let's call it state equals use state, let point equals state 0, and let set point equals state 1. Yeah, it's pretty much like this. I'm basically using destructuring to decrease the number of line of code to 1 instead of 3. Yeah. So JavaScript introduced it in 2015 for ES6. So making your code shorter. Yeah. Now, what's the next step? So, with the useState method, you only need one argument, which is the initialized state. So let's initialize the value to 0 for now. Now, does anyone know how I can reference the useState of 0, the point, to here? So we have a variable of point. How do I reference it? Nope. Carry on guessing.
Just point.
Yes, well done, Z. Just point. Yeah? So 0. See how simple it is with hooks?
No, because you deconstructed the props.
Basically, exactly, Sumi, exactly.
Right.
Yeah? Now, let's move on to methods. So let's concentrate on this bit. Now, so you no longer need to use arrow functions anymore. And I'm going to create a method. Now, do I need this set state? Exactly. Why is that, Julia? Nope. There's no this. This doesn't exist under the function.
No constructor anymore.
Exactly. There's no constructor. Well, there's no class anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. Not yet. Nope. So I want to use this method called setPoint to change this 0 to increase. So how do I use?
Pass it as a parameter.
Nope. Set point. Yeah? To change the data. Now, do we still need this? How do I do that, Sumi? How do I change the point to increase by 1? So instead of this dot state dot point plus 1, what do I need to do to increase it?
Point plus one.
Yes, well done, well done. Don't know who said that. Was it you or was it Sumi or Florin? What do you think, guys? Point plus 1. I'm not sure why it's not working. Oh, that's why. Yeah, so now you can use a function now here. You're allowed to use function within a function. So with classes, you can't mention the word function, but under function, you're allowed to mention the word function, okay? Now, how do I make it work? How do I make this magic work?
Just do increase point in curly braces.
What do I put inside curly braces?
Increase point.
Yeah, nice one. Let's see if it works or not. Yeah, it works.
That's a lot.
It's a lot simpler, isn't it? See, a lot simpler. That's why I love hooks. Right, let's finish this off. Right, Philip, let me test you. It's your turn, Philip. How do I do the same for decrease point for this one? What do I need to do here?
Yeah, function.
Yeah, that's it. Function, and then what?
Then set
Actually, I don't want you to cheat. There you go.
set point.
That's it. Set point. Oh, not pony.
And then just point a minus 1.
That's it. And then what? And then what? How do I make this on-click work?
Increase a decrease point.
Yeah, that's it. Decrease point. See? It works. A lot simpler, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, look. A lot simpler. Right, guys. Any questions? You see how easy Hook is? So originally, I think there was like 30 lines of code. Now it's like less than, well, it's like 20 something, or I think it's like 32 or something. So it's like 10 lines less.
It was 38, I think.
Was it 38? Oh wow! See, nearly half, isn't it?
Yeah, get rid of those constructor stuff.
Exactly. See how simple it is.
Just kind of used to the
Yeah. Right. Any more questions, guys?
So the only thing that you do is you import usage from the React library rather than components.
Exactly. So we're no longer using the component class. We're using useState from React.
So is that when you set another function, the function inside the function you have to use the set point. Like what if? So you.
No, carry on. I'm listening.
You declare a point in array and set point.
Mm-hmm.
Use that state and then.
So the point is the initialized value for state, and the second is a function that you use to update the state. Yeah. So I use the method setPoint in order to change the point variable.
So what if you want to make another function? You need to declare another one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Say for example, I don't know. What do you want to call it?
Okay, so
Put a name. I don't know. Set name.
yeah.
Blah blah blah. That, and then so on.
So you can't change it on to point and
No. So with
Yeah,
with hooks, you can only do 2 different arguments.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my question would be, how do you deal with the use state 0? Do you need to change it to 1 or what?
So I can change to 0, and I can use the data that's been passed. Yeah. So how do I do that?
Misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah. How do I? No. Actually, it's actually a question. How do I get access to the point 100 and pass it into use state?
Hmm.
So I have props here,
Props.
and it's called point.
Props.
Yeah, that's it. Props.point. See if it works. Yeah, it works.
Okay, so if you want to, you need to do another way. You need to declare another.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
When you want to say you want to submit this somewhere, so what do? You do let,
Yep. On.
and then you open square bracket again,
Yep.
and then you say submit is the function. Then you
Submit name. Yeah.
Okay, submit name.
Yep.
And what do? You do use state.
Yep.
And then what?
Change whatever you want. Let's change it to
Supposed to be a name.
Sumi is cool. I don't know. Let me think. I'm trying to think. What should we do here? Let's create a button. So on click. See you later. On click. I don't know. Let's call it change name. Whatever. Create a function. Go for it.
Submit name or change name?
Let's call it change name.
What's the difference? So you've got set points there.
Mm-hmm. So with hooks, you need to have 2 different arguments for this array. One is the initialized value, and the other one is the main function, a main method that in order So in order to change the state, you can't simply create separate functions. You need to create another function, basically. Yeah, of course. So in order to make function work, you must create a function here. Yeah. So submit name. So say change name. So submit name. What do we do here?
I see. So it's a callback function.
Name.
Hmm?
I'm just assuming it's cool again. Use states.
No.
Name plus like
So name. Let's call it, I don't know, Florin, whatever. See if it works. I'm not sure.
what bar.
Let's see if it works. Nope, doesn't work. What did we do here? Ah, I know why. It's because I need to mention it here. It's a name. See, there you go. Yeah. Let me try again. So Sumi is cool. Florin is even cooler. All right.
My question is,
Yeah, go on.
in the naming convention,
Yep.
you've got submit name, which is a callback function, and you're going to create a function to create that submit name.
Yeah, exactly. So in order to change the function, you must create another function. Yeah, it's confusing, I know. All right, guys. Any more questions before I end it here? No. All right. Cheers, guys.